Hello class, good morning to all of you. Today we discuss biological treatment of effluent of pulp and paper industry. The pulp and paper industry has historically been considered a major consumer of natural resources, wood and energy, fossil fuel, electricity, including water, and a significant contributor of pollutant discharge to the environment. Would naturally contain around 50% water, and the solid fraction is typically about 45% cellulose, 25% hemicellulose, and 25% lignin, and 5% other organic and inorganic material. In chemical pulping, chemicals are used in dissolve the lignin and free the fibers. Wastewater and industrial effluent treatment require removal of suspended solid for purification and possible reuse. Among the various sections in pulp and paper mills, the bleaching section is considered to be the most polluted. During this stage, chlorine or chlorine dioxide is used to bleach pulp and release chlorinated and non-chlorinated compounds from lignin and wood. Extractive. Typically, these effluents contain high concentration of chlorophenolic compounds, chloroacetones, and chloroform, which are colored and recalcitrant. Okay. Worldwide, there are many existing biological and chemical processes for the paper and broad meal effluents such as aerobic, anaerobic, algae, fungal, biomass, ozonation, electrochemical, photolysis, and many other. So, pulp and paper mill produces large number of highly heterogeneous wastewater containing chlorinated nitrogen oxide, sulfur, and other toxic chemicals. So, all-level industrial waste treatment processes are expensive and pose a major threat to the environment. Now come on the point, method of treatment of effluents. There are physical method, biological method, and integrated method. Currently, now we going to study biological method. The biological method contain anaerobic method and aerobic treatment. Aerobic treatment and anaerobic treatment. So, biological treatment degrade pollutant dissolved in effluents by the action of microorganisms. Microorganisms use these pollutants to live and reproduce. Firstly, aerobic treatment. Aerobic microorganisms require oxygen to support their metabolic activity. Oxygen is supplied in the form of air by aeration equipment. There are numerous of aerobic systems available for the degradation of oxygen demanding organic compound in the effluents. The first method by which we biodegrade these compounds are aerated lagoon. So you can see in the figure, this is the structure of aerated lagoon. Aerated lagoon, one type of biological treatment often used for pulp and paper effluents, is the aerated lagoon. which is large shallow pond where wastewater is treated biologically with active microorganisms and mechanical aeration. The aerated lagoon is very space consuming because it is dimensioned for a residence time of 5 to 7 days and consumes a lot of energy for aeration. It is very easy to operate and maintain. The shock and load capacity is also high. Some aerated lagoons have been converted into LS facilities, which are long-term aerated activated sludge. Part of the old aerated lagoon have then been utilized for the aeration and other part used for temperature stabilization and also for cooling of hot waste effluents. The aerated lagoon will primarily remove BOD but can also reduce emission of OX to some extent. The removal efficiency is dependent on resistance time, pH, temperature, amount of sludge and degree of aeration. Then second one is the activated sludge process. Pulp and paper mills that have limited space and sensitive recipient are using the activated sludge process. Wastewater is treated in two steps: aeration and sedimentation. In the first step, wastewater treated with high concentration of microorganisms and powerful aeration, and the retention time can vary between a couple of hours and up to a day. In the second step, water and sludge is separated in a sedimentation basin and part of the sludge is pumped back to the aeration basin. The recirculation of sludge enables a high concentration of microorganisms, which is of importance for extensive reduction in organic material. It is more sensitive system than aerated lagoons and cannot stand fast load change. And the degree of efficiency can be controlled and very high BOD reduction occurred by this method. And the removal of biodegradable organic substances, both the soluble and finely dispersed and accomplished by biological oxidation with the help of microbial consortia, principally bacterium. In the activated sludge process is having the significant role in the biooxidation and subsequent clarification. The microorganisms, bacteria, protozoa, fungi and rotifers exist in the activated sludge reaction vessel and clarifier as floc. And the activated sludge process work well as long as the consortia of microorganisms, typically termed as sludge, grow in a healthy way and settle and compacts in the secondary settling tank. The biooxidation of the pulp mill wastewater in the aerobic treatment process with change of dominant and significant operating parameters and environmental condition is carried out. Next one is the moving bed reactor. So several plants have invested that the moving bed bioreactor due to stricter environmental regulations and increase in production. The basin is filled with thousands of suspended plastic carriers that are floating free in a reactor, which have microorganisms attached on a film on the carrier. Air is supplied from the bottom. Air is supplied here. Air is, you can see, air is supplied in the bottom. Okay. Which kept the carrier moving and permit higher load. ये क्या है? Moving carrier moving and permit higher load. A better mixing and a high flush. The biggest advantage with a suspended biofilm process is that it does not require return of activated sludge, has very small space requirement, has good shock resistance, and can operate at very high concentration of biomass. Okay, then biofiltration. The biofilter reactor is equipped with a biological filter of a fixed biomass carrier that serves as a filter as well as a biological contractor. Wastewater and air is fed from the bottom of the reactor and lit in an upward direction through the dense granular bed. No subsequent clarifier is needed because all material is retained within the filter, which with time must be cleaned. The filter is operated with a hydraulic retention time around 0.5 hours and very high BOD reductions are done. The reactor is, however, only suitable for wastewaters containing low BOD concentration due to clogging problem at higher concentration. This is also used in the tertiary treatment, where it functions as a polishing step. And then next one is the anaerobic treatment. Anaerobic treatment without presence of oxygen and more appropriate for treatment of high strength wastewater. Effluents originated from recycled fibers are often treated anaerobic treatment. The anaerobic digestion process involves biological conversions in a stepwise fashion of organic material to various end products, including methane, carbon dioxide. The process offers several advantages and disadvantages over other treatments. Anaerobic digestion system has the ability to produce maximum methane production and will not discharge any gases to the atmosphere. And this system also provides a source of energy with no net increase in atmospheric carbon, which contribute to climate change. So the first method is what? UASB. The UASB reactor is generally tubular shaped reactor consists of four zones. The sludge bed is a layer of biomass that forms at the bottom of the reactor and contains granules of a high settling velocity. It is where the main biochemical reaction occurs. Above this forms a blanket of finely suspended flux with lower settling velocity. The suspension forms due to the production of biogas in the reactor formed from the degradation of soluble organic compounds and is a mixture containing these gases. And above this, the settling zone in the upper part of the reactor. This is quiescent zone where the granules that have been dislodged from the bed by the upflow of wastewater or gas production with of high enough settling velocity will settle back to the bed. The fourth zone is the integrated three-phase separator. Three-phase separator. Liquid will flow through the overflow and gas escape through a tube. This inclusive separator means that biogas produced can be collected and used as a replacement for fossil fuel in energy production. The reactor is fed from the bottom and wastewater flow upward through the reactor. This upflow and production of biogas causes mixing and agitation and hence provides a good contact between wastewater and the biomass. The COD removal occurs over the bed and blanket zone of the reactor. The main biochemical reaction occur in the bed and further biodegradation occur in the blanket. Now UASB have high biomass concentration and hence removal of COD is very good even at high concentrated effluent also. Next one is the fluidized bed. The solid substrate material in the fluidized bed reactor is supported by a porous plate known as distributor. Porous plate is distributor. The fluid is then forced through the distributor up through the solid material. At lower fluid velocities, the solid remain in place as the fluid passes through the wired in materials. This is known as a packed bed reactor. As the fluid velocity is increased, the reactor will reach a stage where the force of the fluid on the solid is enough to balance the weight of the solid material. The stage is known as incipient fluidization and occurs at this minimum fluidization velocity. Once this minimum fluidization velocity is surpassed, the content of the reactor bed begin to expand and swell around much like an agitated tank or boiling pot of water. The reactor is now a fluidized bed. Okay, gas is out from here and solid is from here. This is a fluidized bed. This is the principle. Next one is the anaerobic lagoon. Anaerobic lagoon provides an environment for animal waste up to undergo anaerobic respiration as a component of a larger wastewater treatment program. This is two type. Anaerobic lagoon is two type: covered anaerobic lagoon and uncovered anaerobic lagoons. Uncovered anaerobic lagoon and covered anaerobic lagoon. One is covered and one is uncovered. These are the advantages and these are the disadvantages of the aerobic lagoons. And what is the main principle of behind this? Manure slurry is used to create anaerobic lagoons, which is washed out from underneath animal pens and then sent into the lagoon. If necessary, there may be a holding tank located either under or beside the animal pens, where waste can be held until it is removed into the lagoon. Once manure slurry is in anaerobic lagoon, manure settle into two layers: a solid and a liquid layer. Solid layer is also sludge layer and a liquid layer. Manure then goes through anaerobic respiration, where volatile compounds are transformed into methane and CO2. It can take a fair amount of time. However, for organic stabilization to occur due to slow rate of sludge digestion and slow growth rate of methane formers. Okay. Next one is the tertiary treatment or integrated treatment. It is done by the ozone treatment, membrane filtration. It is the combination of secondary and aerobic anaerobic treatments or many other suspended solids, refractory organic or dissolved. Then we use the tertiary treatment. In this one is the most important is ozone. Ozone has the ability to remove solid from waste water by oxidation. This foam traps a significant amount of solids and nutrient material such as nitrates, phosphate and other. And one is the membrane filtrate. Membrane filtration technique is the different types of membrane are used, like nanomembranes and biomembranes, which are very small pore size and by which effluent are passed. This is a tertiary treatment, mixture of the two treatment. Okay. Then thank you, student. If you have any query, then ask me.